Welcome to Rauta's Rock and Roll Reviews. This time we go beyond the scope of metal and we go for some softer tunes, albeit heavy ones still, even if it means soft. This time it's about English band Oversize. Came with a vinyl, let's put it in the right way here, Oversize vinyl signs with a rather vague cover, and also CD which was used for review purposes. So obviously I'm not bringing two different formats for the review, so this is the official unsleeving phase, what I'm trying to do here without cutting too much of the cardboard of the given vinyl. So thank you to the label, thanks to label for, or whoever sent this to me. So let's do a little bit of a unwrapping here, so we'll see what's inside, or I prefer the word unsleeving. Unboxing sounds so wrong when there is no box. So as you can see, not a glossy one, black and red circles. This is supposed to symbolize something very, very strong, but I don't know, it doesn't resonate with me. Pardon for the light. I mean, I get that you will not see. This is the track list, side A and B. So all red, black and white, traditional colors, right? So inside we will find obviously the actual LP with the sleeve. Figuring out, you will see the lineup and of course the band photo. Here it is once again, red and black, and to really kind of make it clear, also the vinyl is black and white with a little bit of white on the text side. So transparent, not transparent, but you get the idea of vinyl, which looks great. If you're a fan and you want this, well, album, I mean, this is the way to go. Then again, if you're the CD generation and want it to go easier, but not so fancy, this is the way to go as well. So instead of vinyl, we obviously have the CD. Let's put it right there. Let's remove the inlay. Sometimes these jewel case trays come out nicely. Sometimes they're so tight you need tools to remove them. And then finally the booklet, which I failed to take out with my nails, because my fingernails, I like to keep them short. Anyway, here is the booklet once again. Similar photos, and this time of course the lyrics spread throughout the different pages, and finally the recording information lineup and what have you. So what can we tell about Oversize? First of all, this album starts very, very strong and heavy, and I was all like, I'm gonna like this. This is sounding like, giving me a little bit of that post-metal thing, post-rock thing. Sometimes it's hard to draw the line between the two, even though they are different subgenres. But my point here is, it starts very, very nicely because it's heavy and already kind of moody, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna like this. Then it kind of softens down, and that is necessarily a bad thing. Depends once again where you're coming from, what are your preferences and all that stuff. But let me say, I was mildly disappointed because I was kind of hoping them to keep the initial idea going on, but it went soft. And then it started to sound like modern equivalent to grunge music. Remember some 30 plus years ago when grunge was making big waves with bands like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, and so forth. Yeah, this is almost like, to me anyway, how would grunge sound if it was invented in year 2025 or in the 2020s, to say the least. Yeah, and that's not obviously a bad thing. I mean, I grew up during those years when grunge music was big thing, when it was making waves. I even had ones like, say, the debut album of Pearl Jam back in the days. I did have some Alice in Chains. I had at least Nevermind by Nirvana. But eventually, I mean, I didn't grow that much into it. I still have a couple of Alice in Chains, if that matters anything. But point aside is, this is definitely flirting with heavy metal, but kind of doing it softer, much like grunge did back in the days. So guitar driven, sure. Nice clean vocals, sure. What about the mood? Kind of a bleak, but to be honest, I was expecting maybe more bleakness. After all, this is coming from UK, not from American mallcore, suburbs or whatever. So it sounds nice, heavy, and very, very radio friendly, mind you. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with this kind of stuff. But to be honest, it's a little bit faceless. Then again, maybe this is exactly what you would want from grunge sound from 2020s instead of back in the 90s. So maybe not so much heroin in your veins, rest in peace Lane Staley and all, but I mean something key ingredient kind of a thing is missing here. I mean, there are no instantaneous hit songs, which you actually had. Think about the Smells Like Teen Spirit kind of a thing. Or a lot of those Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam hits, whatever you had back in the day, Soundgarden, not to mention that. But these guys are up to something. And while they are very, very small on social media, I was checking out like 1,000 followers on Facebook, really small, about 4,000 on Instagram, which is a little bit better, and then tens of thousands on Spotify. So sometimes those numbers don't resonate, which brings people thinking maybe somebody actually paid for some following numbers. No, frankly speaking, I don't really care. But that kind of means that because there's no logic with these numbers as such, maybe this means this band will be a grower eventually when they do some shows and when they, put out more albums. As such, I think this is a pretty good of a start. But like I said, those instantaneous hit songs are missing. I mean, they already have the good production that fits the style. They have the soft, nice vocals, which is too soft and too honey-like for me, because I'm a metalhead after all. But I mean, technically speaking, they have the ingredients that this could be something bigger. Is it gonna be this time? I don't think so. But then again, what do I really know about rock and roll music to begin with? So take it as from some dumb Finnish metalhead and don't take it from someone working in the industry like big time and earning money and driving a fucking Jaguar. But if you're into a modern way of doing grunge rock or similar music from the 20s, if you don't want to be called grunge, if you want to call them alt rock or whatever, or modern rock music, it's just fine. We're not here to discuss genres as such. But for this kind of audience, this is done for. And that's what I really mean here. In the end, it doesn't matter whatever you're calling it, but who it might resonate with. So, grunge people and all, heads up, antennas pointing outwards. Check these ones if you like. And those who are more stubborn just with extreme metal and all, you can pretty much skip this. So, links are provided in the description box. Do anything with you want with that information and check this band out if you are into it. I can say it's nicely done, but no cigar this time. Now, off you go. Enjoy.